What's up there, guys? Izzy here once again with Do-It-Yourself Junk Removal SEO. And today on my random SEO analysis, market analysis, I'm going to do the city of Birmingham, Alabama. I'm going to show you what it would take if I was a junk removal business owner, what it would take to either compete or even overtake the top business listing out there with Google for that particular area. I'm going to go through search volume, analyze to see how many people are actually looking for junk removal services in that particular area to see if it's even worth my time starting a junk removal business or even competing against the top competitors on there. I'm also going to break down how difficult it's going to be to overtake the competition out there. And I'm going to show you the free tools that I use that you could use right now in this complete example to use in your particular area, and how to analyze your competition, how easy it's going to be or how difficult it's going to be to overtake your competition online. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let's crack down and figure out what it would take to rank a junk removal business on Google in Birmingham, Alabama. All right, before we begin anything at all, the very first thing we want to do is take a look at the market. Take a look at the search volume and the amount of people, the actual customers in that town actually looking for junk removal on Google. And the best way to do that is to, first of all, type in junk removal Birmingham, Alabama into Google search. If this is the town that you're going to be doing junk removal in, or you have a business in there and you're trying to improve it. And what you're going to do is look for the top website. That's a single website. That's not a big corporate one and not a big franchise one, just a simple domain address. See, like this one here, Junk King with all locations, you skip that. Yelp, you skip that. 1-800, you skip that. All these right here, you look for one that's just on its own. Here you go, Junk Removal Birmingham, Alabama. You click on that, copy the domain address, go to the Hoth search engine rankings. Provide a link in the description, and you enter it on here. And what this is going to do is going to show, it's going to bring back information as to what makes this website pop up in the search results. And what we can see here is junk removal Birmingham AL. Those four particular words are searched 320 times every single month. And again, these are just rough estimates. This is a free tool, but it gives you a really, really good, broad idea of what's going on in that area. 320 searches a month is tremendous. That is a monstrous amount of junk removal services found on there. In other words, people are looking this up 10 times every day. People are typing in junk removal Birmingham at least 10 times every single day. Let's see what else. Junk removal Birmingham, another 50 times. Trash pickup Birmingham, 170 times. Let's see. The bulk collection, another thing that has to do with junk removal, 70 times. So the search volume is tremendous in that particular area for junk removal. So if you want to get into this business out there, it's wide open. And if you already have one in there, want to improve your and get more volume, the potential is there for you to get more business. So that's number one. Check the volume. That checks off. This thing is going to be this can kick ass out there in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, now what we're going to do is see who's ranking in the top 3 of the Google Map listings and what it's going to take to beat them out. So again, type in junk removal Birmingham, Alabama, and take a look at the top 3. And what you want to do is aim for the one at the top. And there's 4 main criteria to make what makes a Google listing rank in a particular area. Number 1 is business citations, and these are not in any particular order of importance. They're all together meshed into one. Everything, Google sees it all as one big package. The more you have everything balanced out, the better. So, well, the first thing you're going to look for is this one here, all-in-one junk removal Birmingham, Alabama. One of the things that Google looks for with a Google listing is how many times this business is mentioned elsewhere online. This is called a business citation. How many times that business name, address, and phone number is mentioned throughout the internet and different pages. And one of the fastest ways to figure this out is just to simply click on this and just copy their business name and add their phone number onto the Google search here and click search. And this is going to bring back how many times that's mentioned throughout the internet. And it only shows 8, which is completely easy to do. And you can see they're listed on Yelp, Down South Junk Removal, 1-800. So they're listed in very, very vague pages. So that's going to be an easy one to take, on that position. The next thing you want to look for is the website connected to the listing. You want to make sure what Google's looking for is that the website connected to the listing actually mentions this information, junk removal in Birmingham. So let's take a look at the website. From what I see, the website's very, very weak. Simply one page, nothing much to it. So this is another easy thing to take right here. If you have a nice website connected to your listing, you should be able to that's going to be a big, big bonus for you to take over this listings here, the rankings here. So I can see Birmingham, Alabama on here. But like I said, it's very, very weak. And the reason Google's ranking this right here is because there's nothing else out there. So if you build something better, Google's going to favor it. Another thing it's looking for is the reviews. It's got a lot of reviews, 28 reviews, which is great. The reviews are great too, but what it does with Google is shows activity on that listing. It shows life, and people are being active on that listing. Google wants their properties, which is the Google listings, to have activity on them and people participate in it. So the more reviews you have, the more Google's going to favor it too. Another thing you're going to look for is the Google listings is if people are actually putting into the posts, they're like the mini blog posts on the Google listing. And I can see on here, they're not doing any at all. So that's another thing you could do. You just sprinkle in one of those, they call a Google listing like a post once a week, once every other week, 2 times a week, here and there. It could be anything that you have on sale or anything like that. A sale on pickup. You got a special doing this. You're, I don't know, whatever, anything. But again, to create activity on the Google listing, this is another one that should be easy to overtake. So these are simple things that somebody can do to really wipe these all three of these out, or at least place themselves into one of the three spots on here on Google. So that's one of the first things you need to look. Can this be done over here on a scale of 1 of 10 on difficult? This would be a 1. This would be a piece of cake to outrank any one of these businesses and collect 320 worth of search volume for junk removal services in Birmingham, Alabama. So that's the Google listing. Next up, what we're going to look for, we're going to look at the actual 10 websites that are listed underneath the map listing. The next thing you want to do is check out the top 10 websites underneath this map listing on Google. Your whole goal, your whole idea should be to get your business ranking here in this map listing as well as in the top 10 rankings of Google here. And there's basically 5 things that Google's looking for in order to rank a website. Number 1 is the domain age. How old is the domain? The older domain age, the more Google's going to trust that domain age. So the quicker you put up your website, the better. Number 2, what it's looking for is the proper meta title and the meta description. This is the information that Google reads on a website to know how to file it according to what it wants to be found for. And that's one of the things you need to do on a website to make sure it ranks. Number 3, you need the proper headlines and the proper subheadlines to your website. This is like the title of your book report you place on your book. So the better titles that you have, basically telling Google that you want to be found for junk removal in Birmingham, Alabama, the better you're going to have a chance of getting your website ranked on there. Number 4, you need good content. You need a lot of content, original content that Google's search crawlers read and understand that it's about junk removal in that particular area in order to beat your competition. That's another thing you're looking for. And finally, the last thing it needs, especially in the competitive market, is backlinks. Links from other websites pointing back to your website, proving to Google that your website is popular, that it's important, and people share it online. So what we need to do is look at the competition. And all we see here, and I'm going to tell you something right now, Google does favor websites that rank on their own. It prefers not to show something like a big corporate like Junk King, a location page, a Yelp listings, a directory like that. Let's see what's another one here. 3 best rated. It prefers not to, but if there's nothing else, Google will place those websites up there. The only one I found was this one here. And the very first thing that I did was check its age. I'll provide a link in my description where you can go check out the age of your competition's website to see how old the website is. And I typed it into this one, into this tool. You type it in here, check domain age, and my results were this domain age is 23 years old. That is crazy. I think that's the oldest domain I've ever seen. That's pretty crazy. It was built in 1998. So beating them out on age is basically impossible, but it doesn't matter because you can outbeat them in the other categories. So let's take a look at their Meta title. Their meta title says junk removal Birmingham, Alabama. That's actually good. They're they got a check mark there. Their meta description. This is the meta description. Do they have Birmingham, Alabama in their meta description? They do not. So if you do that on your website, get the proper headline, meta description title and meta description, you're going to beat them on that. Number two, let's take a look and see if they have headlines. I don't see the proper headlines. And one way to do that is to go to SEO scan. I'll provide a link on the bottom here as well, and see if this website is following all the rules. Let's take a look here. Let's copy that. Go on here. You can see their meta title right here. Their title tag, Junk Removal Birmingham. That's correct. I don't see Birmingham at all on here. Their headline, they don't have an H1 title tag. They actually have they got like 8 different headlines, which is confusing the hell out of Google. You could beat them on that. H2 title tags. They got way too many. You could beat them on that. Look at this. Ridiculous. They got like 15 H2 title tags. You could totally beat them on that. Content. Let's take a look at the content. I don't see very much content on here. Not much content on here. 1 page, 2 page, 3 page, 4 page. Yeah, so beating this website would be a piece of cake. All you need to do is build a good quality website, preferably on WordPress. Get the proper meta title, proper meta description, proper headline, proper subheadlines, provide good quality content, provide a few more service pages, and just let it sit there and let it marinate, and you should be good. You probably wouldn't even need any backlinks to beat this website out and get some business going. So that's all it would take to beat this business out here and dominate this area online for Google. It's surprising to me how many people don't know any of this information, and there's SEO companies that offer the SEO services that don't do jack for their customers. But doing this for yourself is not very difficult to do. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have training courses to show you guys how to do this for yourself, how to build the proper website, how to create the content for it, the titles, the description, how to set up your Google map listing to beat these people out and rank your business like in a city like this one in Birmingham, Alabama, where the search volume is so high that it'd be stupid not to do it. So check out my description below. I will have those trainings up soon, and you utilize this information to get on for yourself. If a guy like me can do all this ranking stuff, a guy like you, some of you guys out there can do this yourself and save yourselves thousands and thousands and thousands on Google AdWords, SEO services, website design, and all that stuff, and just completely dominate your area with doing all this stuff on your own. So that's the information, my complete breakdown of Birmingham, Alabama junk removal services. I'll have more. If you guys want me to do your particular area, complete analysis of SEO and the competition and what it would take to beat out the competition area, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be happy to break that down for you guys. But that's all I got for you guys for now. Till next time.